Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys all about the TV show that I'm in, GLAM Masters. I'm so excited to finally be filming this video, and I'm so excited. My episode is only 4 days away. It's going to be April 4th, which is a Wednesday at 10 p.m. on Lifetime Network. I hope you guys are going to tune in and watch. I have my hazelnut coconut milk coffee and I am ready to go to get into this video and let you guys know all the insider info and how I got on GLAM Masters and what my experience was like. Just starting off, I want to tell you guys what GLAM Masters is a brand new show. This concept has never been done before. The show is produced by Diana Madison and Kim Kardashian West. It is a beauty competition show where the best makeup artists in the world go head to head to compete who will be Kim Kardashian's next makeup artist and beauty influencer that is titled as Glam Master of all of the makeup artists everywhere. I found out about GLAM Masters accidentally. It almost kind of felt like fate to me because it sort of fell into my hands through a close family friend and a family member who accidentally stumbled across the casting, and there were a lot of people who were able to actually access the audition paper because Kim had posted it on her Twitter. We actually ended up doing an in-person audition as well, which was so stressful. But basically, when GLAM Masters was presented to me, it was basically just like a competition series where makeup artists or like bloggers come on, they compete, and the end prize, we were told, is to be one of Kim Kardashian's new makeup artists, but also to have a collab with KKW Beauty, which is basically like having your own makeup line, and that would just skyrocket your career because having Kim's name on anything you create just brings so much weight to it. So I mean, the prize in itself could financially set you up for a lifetime and just help you grow so much as an artist, especially just with the credibility added by having Kim's name on something. When we were first told the prize, I was like, holy shit, like that's a huge thing. But just being on the show in general is something that would have been so important, you know, because no matter if you win or not, just being one of the first people, like there were, I think, only 24 of us in the whole world that she chose to put on this show, and that is so amazing, and I'm so thankful to be one of those people. As far as the episodes, the way the episodes work is there are 6 episodes of regular competition. Then you have semifinals and finals. So there's 8 episodes in total. And right now, you guys haven't seen my episode yet, but a lot of the other episodes have come on. My episode is actually the last one before semifinals, and mine is Wednesday. But what you guys would basically see in the show is 4 makeup artists or bloggers or, you know, freelance artists, whatever. We all come on in groups of 4 and we compete against each other, and we do 3 challenges per episode. So every episode, 3 people out of 4 go home and only 1 person moves on to semifinals. It's really stiff, tough competition, and the judges have really hard decisions to make. I can say judging panel is like the hardest place to ever stand in your life. I mean, it's so stressful and it's scary because that's your life that's on the line, you know? Like for most of us who do makeup and have gotten far with it, it's a life career. So if we don't succeed in our career, then we don't have a job, you know? And that's one thing that's really hard about being an entrepreneur is you have to know when to take risks, or you're never gonna be able to actually achieve anything greater than what you have right now. But with this show, you're putting yourself out there in front of millions of people. I mean, there are hundreds and thousands and millions of people who could watch GLAM Masters. And so you're really making yourself subject to a lot of judgment and possible bullying, and it's hard because not everyone is gonna like the looks that you do, but at the end of the day, even if America doesn't like your looks, the judges might not like your looks, and so you just have to work with what you've got. For me, how the audition process went was casting, and it was super small. It was like, apply to be on GLAM Masters, and there was like an email address. That was it. And at the time on the website, I used this a lot for castings, and I never thought any of them were real because they took so long to get back to you. But it is real. And speaking of GLAM Masters, there's Brian. I sent an email and basically started the casting process. And it's so funny, the way I got a call back was hilarious. Nola, can you not sit on my lap right now? You are a part of this, aren't you? Yes. they sent me this like written application audition that I had to fill out, and it literally took me like 5.5 hours or more. I sat at my mom's kitchen table filling this out when I was home alone one day for hours. And I was typing paragraph answers. Like everything was so detailed. I was like, I love makeup because blah, 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 and went on for like forever. And I remember after filling out my application, I went online and I like Googled Glam Masters, and there were articles from like Teen Vogue and Cosmopolitan and People and E! News, and they were talking about how hard the written audition was. And this is when like it started to set in for me, like, this is a big deal because Kim's name is on it. And I was like, oh my God, if I could get onto this show, like my life would change forever. Like I was freaking out, but I was still in such early stages that I was like shocked that I even had this opportunity anywhere near me, and that I was able to even achieve it or get in contact with people who worked for the show. I sent in my application, and then I sent over a couple pictures of some makeup that I'd done on myself and on a couple clients. And I sent it in, and within literally 1 hour, I got a call while I was peeing. I was literally, C was in my room and I was on the toilet peeing, and the lady calls me. It says like Los Angeles, California. And I was like, oh my God, I have to answer this phone call. And I didn't know who it was because I didn't have the number saved. So I answered it and I tried to play it off, but I was like totally freaking out because I was peeing and I didn't want them to know. But the girl was like, we love your pictures. Like, we want to move you forward and push you through to casting. And I was like, get the fuck out. You're lying. She was telling me like all this information, important stuff that I needed to know. And I started getting so excited and nervous at the same time. And it's funny because this journey has been so long. So this actually happened last year around this time. So right now it's about to be April. I found out about the casting, I would say like mid-May. I found out about it around like May 15th. I found out about the casting, applied for it, and I was fully in to be casted when June started. So yeah, they told me, all right, you got to do a couple more things and we're gonna pass you on to the network, onto Lifetime. And if Lifetime likes you, then they'll pass your pictures on to Kim, and Kim will write off a yes or a no of if she wants you on the show. So I'm like, okay, my picture is literally gonna fall in her hands. It has to be good. I have to present myself well. I have to make sure that I have my shit together, basically. So this whole thing was so unreal, and at the same time, I never talked about it. I never posted that I was applying for Glam Masters. I never said I was in casting. I never wanted to jinx it. This was like life-changing opportunity for me, and I've never been so close to something that. So I was like, you know what? I don't want people to know. There's nothing to brag about. I am here to compete, and this is what I want to do. So I'm just going to be quiet and pray and hope that this is what I'm supposed to do, because I feel like a lot of stuff with my career hasn't gone where I wanted it to. And I think God really does pick and choose the routes that you are meant to go on. And for me, I love YouTube and I love doing makeup, but there's something about being on camera that is really good for me and makes me happy, and I feel like I'm good at it. So I was like, that's impossible. I can't have this dream job where I do makeup, I'm on TV, and I get to be like a reality personality person at the same time. Like, that type of job didn't exist for me, at least. And then for Glam Masters to come out and for the show to literally be a reality-based competition makeup series, I was like, this is not real life. Like, I put out into the world exactly what I wanted, and God was like, here you go. You just really have to work super hard. Basically, I was getting really nervous because we were told we would have like X amount of days until we heard back from the network, and I wasn't hearing anything. I waited a little while. I feel like a month went by of me not knowing if I was gonna move on and actually do the full casting. And then they contacted me and they were like, all right, you're moving forward. And I was like, this is not real. So yeah, they sent over more info. They told us about the show. They told us who we'd be working with, like new people in the network, producers, things like that. And it was awesome. So most of this was like a waiting game. I knew that in order to actually go out there and compete, we would have to wait until film time started. And we had no idea when we were scheduled to film. So, and I also knew I had to do my last round of auditions first, which would be in person. This was a huge ass surprise. One day they basically just called us and they were like, hey Stephanie, we just want to let you know, we really want you on Glam Masters, but you have have to fly to California and you're gonna do an in-person audition and you're gonna do makeup to show us if we like your look in person. They didn't tell us what the competition is. They didn't tell us what complexion our model would be, what her skin type would be, if our model was gonna be ourselves. They didn't tell us what to bring. They didn't tell us if it was gonna be a regular makeup look, an SFX, a paint look, nothing. We didn't know shit. We just knew, bitch, you gotta go to California. I always like told myself, C and I were trying to move to California last year in May, and I was like, you know what, we can't afford this. So let's just wait. I'm gonna let work take me out to California. My first trip ever to California, to the West Coast, I want it to be for a job. And then for them to call me and tell me like, your audition is in California, we're paying for your travel, your hotel, your everything, but you need to get ready to get here because you leave on this day. And I was like, how in the hell is all these things I'm just saying that I need to do and want to do just happening for me? It was crazy. I got my date of when I was traveling and I freaked the fuck out because I was like, I need to buy the entire Sephora in order to be prepared since I don't know what competition we're doing. So basically I got my itinerary of when I was going to be leaving to go to California to audition. Before we did that, we had to send in 4 photos of detailed outfits because they had to approve it. They were having us figure out what we would wear on our episode. So just in case we had to stay in LA, like if we got through and went through the audition and we would end up filming, we had to have all of the clothes with us that they wanted us to possibly wear. So they had their like fashion team look over it and stuff and make sure like our outfits were okay, cute, would look good on camera, wouldn't wash us out, that kind of thing. I have one of my emails. I'm gonna read it to you guys. I would sit at my phone and fucking wait for these emails. You guys have no idea. Hi Stephanie, you'll be flying into Los Angeles on the 24th. Your full flight information can be found below. When you land at the airport, you'll receive a text message from a member of our team who will be picking you up in person. You'll be transported to our cast hotel and you'll stay there for the remainder of your visit. And yeah, there's my itinerary. This is so weird. Like, I feel like I'm like low-key reliving this right now, and it was such a fun time in my life. It was so stressful, but it was very fun. I actually wasn't allowed to show you guys pictures of what I did during my casting, but because my episode is only a few days away, I'm gonna show you guys. So basically, we ended up getting our challenge, I think like 24 hours before we like flew in to California. We didn't have much time. And the challenge was to do the 2 sides of yourself. And so one side was like the glam side and one side is like your inner art and what you would want to express. For me, I think we only had like 45 minutes or an hour to do the challenge. This was the audition in person. I was really fucking stressed because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have time. Like, you know, and I mean, I just felt so scatterbrained. So we're at the airport, like I'm waiting, I have my stuff, and I was waiting for one of the team members to pick us up. I actually got in the van and then some other girls got in the van too, and they were also on Glam Masters, obviously. So I met Julia Dantas Beauty, Vic Braca, and Glamzilla. They're all from Canada, so of course I was like, oh my gosh, you guys just flew on a plane together, you guys know each other, and I'm here like by myself. They were all super nice. We talked about like our following and, you know, generating like a true audience. And so I got a vegan pizza. I was so ready to prepare myself for the next day because we got there so late, and then it was like 11:30 when I finally got settled in my hotel. Right when I got settled, I was like, okay, I've got to get like things organized, and I knew I had to wake up super early because even though our call time for our audition was not that early, I knew that I wanted to be prepared. So I woke up at like 6 a.m., started doing my makeup because I sat out all of my makeup the night before so I would be prepared, like everything. I had my outfit ready, all of my brushes, my brush belt, everything. I was good to go. And I was extremely excited. I'm gonna show you guys the makeup look that I did that morning, which I still am obsessed with. I think it's gorgeous. And it's like one of my favorite makeup looks of me in my hotel room. So it's this like warm, golden, like smoky look with a nude lip, which that is my go-to. And I was just living, like I was so happy that day. I was like so pleased with my makeup. I felt beautiful and I was just so fucking happy. I went downstairs and we waited in this like conference room in the hotel, and that is where I met a bunch of the other contestants that I didn't know I'd be on the show with until recently. But I met Taylor Steingold. She's absolutely like phenomenal as an artist. She's gorgeous. She has this like Lana Del Rey vibe, and she's such a like inspirational like soul. She's amazing. I met Argenis, who's like the most amazing body painter I've ever seen, literally ever. And then I met Beta. She does makeup on YouTube and she's so funny and so happy. I met Jen, who is in my episode, and I had no idea she'd be in my episode. I just met so many awesome people, and so we waited around, and then they called us into one of the rooms where they had these like vanities, and they were like, all right guys, like set up your makeup because you're gonna start your challenge soon. This is when the anxiety set in, girl. It set in. I was so nervous. Hi, beautiful. Of course, we couldn't have our phones or anything, and we weren't supposed to take pictures of our look, but I've never done makeup and not taken a picture of the look after, so I was like, I have to figure out how to get a picture of my look. So they brought in our models, and of course, I was so thankful for two things. My vanity was the first vanity right when you walk in, so I knew all the producers and casting people would get to see my look more because it was closer to the front of the audition room. And second, my model was gorgeous. She had such beautiful skin, not really any breakouts. She had even complexion, and she was just gorgeous. So it worked out in my favor for sure. So this is the look that I did on the like express your inner self side. I really love mixing paints and doing like interesting things that you wouldn't necessarily see every day. So that's why I did that. And of course, you know, I had to throw some glitter on there. I'll show you guys. I also have like a video of her makeup. It doesn't even do it justice to how it actually was in person, because in person it was like super reflective and so interesting. Like I put so many different shadows to make it like multi-dimensional in color, and it just, camera doesn't pick it up at all. Overall, I was like really proud of this look, and I thought that it was super cute. And the glam side, I basically just did like a regular smoky eye, like a smoky eye with some gold winged liner, balm highlight, like, you know, nude lip, just what I would normally wear on myself, which is like my everyday glam pretty much. Once we finished, they took our models from us. We weren't allowed to see them anymore after we finished. They were like, put down your brushes, no more. Then they brought us into this room while we waited, and they told us we would go and meet with our like casting people. They would have us explain the look, what we meant by it, do we love it, what could we have done better, and present our model basically. And then me and my model finally got to go in, and I explained my look. I'm really good at talking. Like, even if I don't know what I'm talking about, I will convince you I'm the most amazing speaker ever. So I just kind of like winged it, went with it how I could, and they loved my look. They said it was very beautiful. And then after I finished, they kept the model in there to ask the model how our work was when we were doing it. So like, how was she with blending? Did she make you comfortable? Was she rough applying makeup? Like that kind of stuff. And apparently there was lots of good feedbacks that made me happy. I was like, I'm on the show. I was so proud of myself, and I felt like I stayed true to myself, which is the most important thing. I went there to do what I was supposed to do, and I kicked ass, and I did it how I should have, and then I was just like that bitch, you know?